Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Fabrizio Romano says Darwin Nunez will 100% leave Benfica this summer. Darwin Nunez is a forward. Erik ten Hag wants to bring a striker to Manchester United. Darwin Nunez has been at Benfica since 2020. He's got a contract with them until 2025. Benfica got Nunez for a record fee of 20 million. Benfica got him from Almeria. Before, he's played for Penarol. You know the news regarding Pau Torres? Pau Torres wants to join Manchester United, despite Tottenham matching €50 million bid. Recently, Pau Torres' agents flew to Manchester over transfer talks. Manchester United are willing to pay $43 million for Pau Torres. Pau Torres is at Villarreal. He's been at Villarreal for around 20 years. He came up their academy. He's got a contract with Villarreal until 2024. Before, he had a loan spell with Malaga. You know, there's a lot of players that Erik ten Hag wants to recommend to the club. He also wants to bring Lisandro Martinez. He wants to bring Anthony in. Man United have been heavily linked with Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. We've been heavily linked with Declan Rice from West Ham. You know, we've been tentatively linked with Ousmane Dembele. So they're a lot of the players that Man United have been linked with. Erik ten Hag's transfer budget has already been revealed. Ten Hag is going to get rid of a lot of players this summer. He said 10 players are set to leave Manchester United. Erik ten Hag is officially Manchester United's manager. Not so long ago, Ten Hag had his first interview as the Man United manager. So the Erik ten Hag era has officially begun. Revert back to the other month, it got officially announced that Man United appointed Erik ten Hag as the new manager. Erik ten Hag replaced Ralf Rangnick. He signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year. Erik ten Hag attended Manchester United's final game of the season against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Ten Hag knows he's got big expectations to exceed. You know, he's Man United's 5th permanent manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. It's good that he's experiencing the Premier League. Hopefully at Man United he can replicate what he did at Ajax. You've got to admire the work he did at Ajax. At Ajax he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019 he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. Ten Hag was the Ajax manager for around 5 years. before Ten Hag managed Utrecht, Bayern Munich reserves and Go Ahead Eagles. By the way, Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren have joined Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United. Manchester United did lose to Crystal Palace 1-0 at Selhurst Park. Man United endured their worst ever Premier League season in terms of points. Man United finished on just 58 points. Despite the loss to Crystal Palace, though, Man United are in the Europa League for next season. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Sir Alex Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and in November last year, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As things stand, Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. Man United have only won, 4 trophies in the last 10 years. We won 3 trophies under Mourinho. If you want to put the Community Shield into the equation, won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal. And the last time Man United won the Premier League was back in 2013. Since Sir Alex Ferguson, I'd say Man United have spent over £1 billion. I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. We've got to get the Glazers out of the club because they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. A lot of United fans have been protesting against the Glazers, and the protesting will persist until the Glazers are out of the club. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 17 years. They purchased the club for $500 million back in 2005. Look at the squad. We've got, these good players in there. There's also a lot of bad players. There's some average players. So, we've got, or should I say, did have Edison Cavani. I think Cavani has now left. I'm not too sure where he's going. I presume he'll be going to Spain. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani enjoyed a lot of good games as a United player, but on the other side of things, he picked up quite a few injuries. We got Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Ronaldo missed the final game against Crystal Palace because he picked up a hip injury. Since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's got 24 goals in all competitions. He has 18 goals in the Premier League. Man United re-signed Ronaldo in the summer of last year from Juventus. His contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of a further year. He's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He earns £480,000 a week. Ronaldo, I don't think he'll leave this year, but he could leave next year. Ronaldo will want to play under Ten Hag. Ronaldo said he wants to stay and Ten Hag wants Ronaldo to stay. Earlier on this year, Ronaldo announced his baby son had passed away, and that was upsetting. We have Marcus Rashford. He's a decent player overall. Still young, needs more time. I thought last season, though, he was very poor. Rashford's not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of the season that's just gone with that shoulder problem. He missed the game against Palace because he's out with illness. I think he's still out with illness now. Marcus Rashford wants to stay at Manchester United. He was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation throughout the course of last season. Rashford's contract at the club expires next year. He has been part of the football club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a Man United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. We've got that Hannibal Magebrai. Don't have a great deal of a perception on him, don't know much about him. He did recently make his first start in the final game against Crystal Palace, and he actually made an impact. He did actually have a very good chance in the game. Anthony Elanga, he is a good young player. The season that's just gone, he had some good games. He also had some poor games as well, but needs time. He's still young, like I say. Revert back to earlier on this year, Elanga got racially abused on social media because he missed a decisive penalty against Middlesbrough in the cup. I totally disagreed with him getting racially abused. Elanga joined Man United's academy at the age of 12. He's got a contract with the club until 2026. There's an option of a further year. Bruno Fernandez. Well, he is a good player overall, but I thought the season that's just gone, he was poor in a lot of games. We've struggled to get the best out of Bruno Fernandez since Ronaldo re-signed for the club. But before Ronaldo came, Fernandez was superb. He's one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Earlier on this year, Fernandez signed a contract with Man United until 2026 as an option of a further year. Fernandez has been a Man United player for over 2 years. Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Juan Mata. I don't have a great deal of a perception on him, because he doesn't really get in the team. Started a few games towards the end of the season that's just gone. Juan Mata's a squad player, but Juan Mata has had a good career at Manchester United. He's endured 9 seasons at the club, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. He's out of contract very soon. Man United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for, 37.1 million. It was 40 million with the add-ons. The Manchester Evening News said the other week that Juan Mata doesn't rule out staying at Manchester United. You can put Mata in the number 10, you can also put him on the wing. Jesse Lingard, he's not good enough. Again, don't have a great deal of perception on him now because he doesn't really get in the team. Lingard's a squad player. Lingard's out of contract soon. He has been part of the football club for a long time. He came up our academy and that. He's had quite a few loan spells. At the second half of the season before the one that's just gone, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Lingard should have left in January this year. We got Fred. Fred, he's not good enough to represent the club. I've always had my strong reservations about Fred. Earlier on in the year, though, Fred was actually one of our best performers, when we had Ralph Rangnick. But since he recovered from that injury, he's been poor. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk around, 3 or 4 years ago now. Got him in a deal worth 50 million. We've also got Scott McTominay. Again, don't think he's good enough. Maybe he does need more time though, McTominay. He's still young, he's got a lot of development in him. Early on in the Ralph Rangnick era, I'd say McTominay was one of our best performers. The best games I recall McTominay having was the 5-1 win against Leeds and the 6-2 win against Leeds, and he played well against Aston Villa in the FA Cup third round. He has been part of the club for a long time. Revert back to 2020, he committed his future to the club. McTominay did sign a 5-year contract. Nemanja Matic, he's not good enough. He has had his good games at United. We know Matic is leaving the club. Earlier on this year, Matic announced he'll be leaving Man United this summer, despite having 12 months on his contract. Matic, has been at Man United for around 5 years. I said he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he's been given his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got, at the moment. Paul Pogba, he's pretty average. Pogba's a good player when he wants to be. Pogba, missed the final game against Crystal Palace because he's out with injury. Pogba's endured quite a lot of injuries since he re-signed for the club, so reflecting on that, he is injury prone. Pogba looks like he'll be leaving Man United this summer. He's out of contract very soon. Damasio said not so long ago that Paul Pogba has 100% decided to leave Man United. Apparently he said Pogba had been offered a 3-year contract by his former club Juventus worth around €7.5 million. But Pogba is demanding €11 million. Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he re-signed for Man United. Sky Sports said earlier on this year that Pogba is likely to move abroad when his contract runs out this summer. Real Madrid, Juventus and PSG are all interested. Pogba has endured 6 seasons at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed. Man United paid $89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. We got Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's probably only had 1 or 2 good seasons at Man United. I thought the season before this one that's just gone, he was absolutely superb. But the season that's just gone, I thought he was very poor. There again, he's had injuries. I think he's injured at the moment. Missed the final game against Crystal Palace. Shaw's been at Manchester United for around 8 years. So he's been a long-serving player. His contract at the club expires next year. He could possibly leave next year if he doesn't pick up form and, he keeps picking up injuries. We've also got Alex Telles. Not good enough. He's been poor for the last few months now. Alex Telles appeared to be our first choice left-back under Ralph Rangnick. I think that's the only reason that is because obviously Luke Shaw's been out with injuries. Telles will be leaving Man United very soon. Man United got Telles from Porto back in 2020. Harry Maguire, he's not good enough. I'm expecting him to leave Man United this summer. Throughout the course of the season that's just gone, a lot of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Harry Maguire. Maguire's not a leader. Maguire had an injury earlier on this year. He's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. Don't forget, earlier on this year, Maguire received a bomb threat at his home. and reflecting on that, he did call the police. Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. Man United paid 80 million for him. He's the second most expensive signing at the football club. Maguire's been at Man United for around 3 years. We got Eric Bailly. I think Eric Bailly is a decent centre-half, but, Bailly doesn't really get in our team, plus he is injury prone. He had a knock not so long ago. Eric Bailly will be leaving Manchester United this summer. Bailly and also Jones have told their teammates that they intend on leaving the club. Bailly should have left in January this year, AC Milan almost got him. We brought Eric Bailly in under the Mourinho era. Man United got him from Villarreal, they paid 30 million. So Bailly's been at the club for over 5 years. Back in April last year, Bailly signed a contract with Man United until 2024. Victor Lindelof, he's not good enough. I think we need to get rid of him. I don't think we'll get rid of him this year, but I think next year he could be leaving. Victor Lindelof isn't one of our first choice centre-halves, because obviously Man United signed Varane from Real Madrid in the summer of last year. Lindelof was poor against Palace on the final game of the season. Lindelof, he's played a lot of games alongside Maguire in our back line. He's played games alongside Eric Bailly. I think Lindelof looks better alongside Bailly than he does alongside Maguire. Lindelof's obviously played games alongside Varane, and he's played games alongside Jones as well. Lindelof's been at Man United for over 4 years. We got him from Benfica back in 2017 for 31 million. We got Raphael Varane. I don't think he's done as well as expected, but he has had his good games since he came to the club. He's also had his poor games as well. Varane's actually had quite a few injuries since he became a United player. But Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him, because look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid, and he was also a long-serving player when he was at Real Madrid. He was with them around 10 years. Man United signed Varane from Real Madrid in the summer of last year. Man United have also got Phil Jones. No, obviously not good enough. Jones is a backup centre-half, doesn't really get in the team. Jones has made like 3 Premier League appearances since January 2020. The best game Jones had was the 1-0 defeat to Wolves at Old Trafford. That was a season just gone. Jones should have left Man United in January this year. He was close to making a move to Bordeaux. But Rangnick said at the time he was happy for Jones to stay. His contract at Man United expires next year. Jones has endured 11 seasons at the club. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's not good enough. And Wan-Bissaka wasn't our first choice right back under Ralph Rangnick. Diego Dalot was. Prior to the Palace game, it said Wan-Bissaka will be allowed to leave Man United this summer. I heard that he could be going back to Crystal Palace. And Atletico Madrid want him on loan. Wan-Bissaka's endured 3 full seasons at Man United. Man United got him from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019 for 50 million. Bissaka is good defensively most of the time, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And we do have Diego Dalot. Not that good, don't get me wrong. The season just gone, he had his good games, he had his poor games as well. Like I mentioned not so long ago, Dalot was our first choice right back under Rangnick. Dalot, I don't think he'll leave this year, but I think next year he'll leave. Being subjected to a lot of transfer speculation before. Don't forget, at one point, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We got Dalot from Porto. Man United paid around 19 million for him. Dalot's contract at the club expires next year. We got that Garnacho as well. He's a young player. Garnacho came on, didn't he, in the 1-0 defeat to Crystal Palace. Garnacho got a brace in Man United's 3-1 win against Nottingham Forest. That was the under-18s. Man United won the FA Youth Cup for the 11th time. Jaden Sancho, I think he's a decent player. Jaden Sancho's done nowhere near as well as a lot of United fans expected, but he certainly has had his good games, he's had his poor games. But like I've said before, not every player settles in straight away. Jaden Sancho missed the final game against Crystal Palace with illness. Man United signed Sancho from Dortmund. We got him in a deal worth 78 million, with the add-ons included. So Man United paid around 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until 2026 as an option of a further year. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he came to Man United. We got David De Gea. The season just gone, David De Gea was absolutely sensational. He's regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Like I updated you yesterday, he said David De Gea is close to extending his contract with Man United until 2025. David De Gea's current contract at Man United expires next year. De Gea earns £375,000 a week. Second highest earner at the club. David De Gea got named the Premier League's Player of the Month back in January this year. He's enjoyed 11 seasons at the club, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but he's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Man United got David De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. We got Dean Henderson. Henderson's our second choice keeper. The season just gone, Dean Henderson only made 3 appearances. I'm expecting Henderson to leave this year. I heard that he could be going to Newcastle. We do have Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton is our third choice goalkeeper. Don't have a great deal of a perception on him. Heaton played in the pre-season games before the season that's just gone, and he did well, to be fair. Heaton should be leaving the club this year. And we got Donny van der Beek. He's coming back to United, I think. Obviously, the season just gone, he was out on loan with Everton. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, like, support on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.